Eugene, I guess they knew his holiday was kicking in, and playbook needed a little something. I mean, this is a soap opera. Rick Scott taking on Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell did his thing a couple weeks ago about the candidate quality, and it was sort of subtext, right? I guess we'd call it a subtweet.
Right.
He didn't name names, but he made it clear. It didn't seem like he was calling out Rick Scott. It seemed like he was calling out
Donald Trump. Exactly.
Yeah. Rick Scott, we know he's ambitious, and he and McConnell have never seen eye to eye. But this feels like a direct shot. This, to me, looked like a candidate announcement.
I think that's right. It feels like it's very brave for him to do because people tend to not try to take on Mitch McConnell in any obvious way. So you see this op-ed. He did an interview with my colleague Burgess Everett, and that came out today talking about kind of the same thing, this like bubbling up war between him and Mitch McConnell. And what he is saying and what his team keeps saying is like, no, this is about making sure that people still have the ability to do the things that we want them to do, that the candidates feel good, that the voters feel good. But all of us in D.C. are looking at it and saying, no, this is someone who wants to run for something else, whatever that ends up being. It's unclear, but it's a risky sentiment because then you're now saying we're going to make good on the promise of making sure that we flip the Senate, which, Mitch McConnell seems to be more right here in the argument.
Jim Dornan, bashing Mitch McConnell's not bad Republican politics, is it?
It depends on who your audience is.
I understand it. Perhaps not over there. Perhaps not on a certain street with the letter K on it. But with the rank and file.
Well, I've always said that the road to hell is paved with the bodies of people trying to take on Mitch. and I mean that. I mean, he's a tough SOB, and I wouldn't want to be getting on his bad side. I don't know what Scott's game is. I'd be very curious. I think maybe leader, but I don't think the votes are there.
Let me ask you this. What is the plausible reason to do this publicly that has nothing to do with his own ambition?
That I don't get.
Okay.
I think it's silly.
I have something.
Okay.
I think so. No. Rick Scott has taken a beating. He has had his you-know-what drag from here to there because the one political plan that we have seen from the Republicans called for doing away with Social Security and Medicare. Hello, seniors are voters that vote. Right. Rick Scott is trying to defend himself. He is tired of hearing everybody talk about candidate equality. He's tired of watching panels like this, which we know he watches, where people are like, these Senate candidates are bad business. And he's like, dang it, Mitch, I'm not taking no more of your stuff.
Don't you think he deserves it?
I think so.
But wait a minute, we're talking, okay, but here we are, McConnell and Scott are fighting over an issue caused by not either one of them.
Right. Well, right. And then, we're going to at some point talk about Biden's speech tonight, and I was going to use the word divisive. Trump is being divisive here. And it's damaging the party. Democrats got to be loving watching this. I mean, come on.
Me and my popcorn.
It just feels not just an unforced error. It just feels like it does feel like they're already doing the post game.
Yeah,
This is really early for what I call the pre-bituaries. When you start to hear people talk, well, we could have won if, and you're like,
yeah, it feels more than expectation setting at this point.
All you guys have to do is hold a couple of seats and flip one dem. I mean, this actually isn't that difficult of a path, but they're now making it look like. I mean, is it worse than we think?
For Mitch McConnell to say what he said, for Rick Scott to feel like he has to do what he's doing, it has to be, right? They are much more nervous, I think, than based on conversations we all have on background or behind closed doors, than what they're saying in public. And I think that is one reason that Scott is worried. He's making sure that, hey, everybody, don't worry. It's going to be okay, when they really don't feel like it's going to be okay.
I really think they underestimated the effects of Roe.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
My Republican friends were not running on jailing women, jailing doctors, fining people. But that is the reality that we currently live in. Look at the Texas bill that was just passed. So I do think that the fruits of their labor might be a loss of more than just a few seats.
So
I don't disagree.
Let me ask you this, Jim. I want to get to the Biden speech, but I want to quickly ask about Alaska, and it's more about the future of ranked choice voting, which, look, we could look and it's like it's done its job. If you don't want to see somebody on the far left be mayor of New York City, or somebody on the far right become a member of Congress from Alaska, this system we are seeing evidence that this works.
Right.
But right now the Republican Party is looking at it and thinking, oh, this is just rigged against us. Now it could be because, hey, nominate better candidates. But do you think that Republicans will actually start fighting these reforms?
Well, first of all, the voters chose this, okay? So I think that Republicans' argument
That's a fair
is
point.
right out the window.
Yeah.
I was appalled at Tom Cotton's comments on Twitter last night.
Is he aware of how the Electoral College works?
Apparently not.
We can help
That's
him out with
one. Two, I think it demonstrated very clearly the limit of MAGA candidates. They do not have a majority of the vote. They may have 30 to 35% of that vote, but and clearly Begich's voters did not vote for make Palin his second
Well, we know
choice.
1 in 4 certainly. Half of them chose to either do nobody or voted for the Democrat.
Right. And I think that speaks volumes about the limits of Trump's endorsements, because Trump's endorsements to me do not matter in the primary. Well, they do. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. They matter in the primary because they're not giving us our best general election candidates.
Right, and then they matter in the general because they were able to turn that in. So, Symone, it actually brings to what I think President Biden's doing or trying to do, and you tell me, which is he thinks there's a wedge here to drive within the Republican Party, but I don't know if people like Jim Dornan will want to embrace that wedge. Is that what he's trying to do?
I don't know if he's trying to drive a wedge between the Republican Party or he is trying to keep together a coalition that he has had before. The coalition, you know, I worked on that campaign. The coalition that we put together in 2020 was a coalition of base Democratic voters. They were independent voters. There were some Republicans, lifelong Republicans, who said, I like, these are real conservatives, but they did not appreciate or identify with the extremism that Donald Trump identified. Now it's not just Donald Trump. There are more than, I think, 40 candidates right now across the country who won primaries who are election deniers. And so what the president is doing is something I think we've all seen him do before. He picks these moments, say what the moment requires. For him, this moment requires to ring that bell for the clarion call of protecting our democracy. It's something he did in his campaign, and it's something we're going to see right now.
So you think it's divisive?
I do. I mean, so much for the great unifier, right? I mean, and I question, Eugene and I were talking before the show, there's no way these networks would have given this time to Trump. There's absolutely
No, I don't think the networks are going to.
No.
By the way, I don't think the networks are going to. I think it's just going to be cable, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Then
I don't
my
think,
mistake.
because it is right. Trust me, I'm not working at 8 o'clock tonight.
No, you are not. It is a political speech. My friends are like, oh, my friends at the White House are like,
Good.
not
It is.
Look,
We know that's what it is.
The question I have is Fox going to cover it?
Right.
At 8 o'clock. My guess is they have another program at 8 o'clock that I could see
counter program.
He might
split screen.
Yeah, he might split screen it. Might try to Mystery Science Theater it. Yeah. But I think was it 3 days later that Donald Trump has a rally in not far from Scranton Joe country.
Yeah,
the split screen between these two speeches will be interesting.
And also, what else is going on today and has gone on the last
I know,
week
we're
or
gonna
so
do a whole
with former President Trump? This is a time that this White House feels they're able to, one, talk about democracy, what they have done and what they feel like they've done and what they want to do, but also, more importantly, draw this really sharp contrast with how they feel Republicans have dealt with the small d democracy and how important it is. You have, like Symone was saying, the Dobbs decision, and you also have Donald Trump and his election deniers winning primaries, but also what happened at Mar-a-Lago, him having all of these classified materials there. So it is what Republicans were worried about more than a year ago, Donald Trump possibly giving Democrats a better story to tell. All of these things that they can now go on.
Don't you think that's helped turn between Dobbs and this this is the one
I'd
that's
be keeping him in the news. I mean, if I were a Democrat right now, I'd be talking about nothing but Trump. He looks worse every single time he comments on what's going on down there. Now, on the speech, I will say that Penn State-Purdue game is on at the same time. So.
I don't know whether. Symone, I want to acknowledge something else here. You know, we have spent 18 months going, where's Joe Biden? Where's Joe Biden? He doesn't ever come out in the big moments. Can't say that the last couple of weeks.
No, Joe Biden has been out in the big
He
moments.
is suddenly, what I can't figure out is, I always joke, like we go through this, boy, presidents are unpopular, they look really small. And then suddenly they get a little momentum, you're like, oh, wow, look, the president's back, right? We so over-exaggerate this, but it does feel as if, I don't know if the National Democratic, if other candidates running for office would be thrilled with this a month ago, that he was going to take this primetime slot. Now they don't mind it.
Well, I think, again, it goes to the environment. I had General Melly Dillon on the show, and I asked her, I said, oh, is this the Joe Biden we can expect going forward?
She doesn't go on the record all the time.
She does not go on the record.
As Eugene and I both at all. How did you get that one?
I just called her.
All right, J.O.D.
And she said, Symone, as you know, this is the Joe Biden that we've seen is the Joe Biden that's always been there. And I found that interesting because she's right. It's not, though, the Joe Biden that he's not usually going out on television, and he's taking up and commanding space because He knows the urgency of this moment.
And they have a better
Donald Trump
story
has
to
given
tell.
him this space, has he not?
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's just talking himself into a corner. And again, this is why I think that Mitch is freaking out, because this has gone from a referendum on Biden to a choice between Biden and Trump. And that's the last thing Republicans wanted.
I feel like it's just the 2020 campaign has basically picked up where we left off.
Exactly.
Sometime around November 2nd.
And now Democrats feel like they have an actual story to tell, a much better story than they had a few months ago. So, of course, now they're hugging Biden a little bit more. When a few months ago, some of these people did not want to go on a campaign trail with them.
It is a remarkable 180 on that front. All right, Eugene, Symone, Jim, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.